We are here in the Jordan era now of the Ultimate Rebuilding Series. We are going into the 90s in this episode. So what is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? I decided I wanted to do one of the newer teams in the league, one of the more recent expansion teams, the Minnesota Timberwolves. So we will be doing years 10, 11, and 12 today. We did control the New Jersey Nets in the last episode. Spoiler alert, we did win 2 championships. So the Nets now have as many titles as the Celtics in this series so far. The Lakers still have the most amount because they three-peated in the mid-80s, as you can see, with Magic Johnson getting 3 straight Finals MVPs. And I thought the Timberwolves would be a fun team to do. They did draft Glenn Rice a few years ago with the 4th overall pick. He will be going into his 4th year. We got to decide if we want to continue to build around him. We have Rod Strickland, who's 25 years old, a solid point guard, good three-point shooter, 6.6 assists a night. I think it's a nice 1-2 punch, but after that, yeah, it's not great. We got Darwin Cook, Jerome Kersey, James Donaldson, who we did have in the Clippers back in episode 1, if you remember. Jerry Sitching. You got Trent Tucker, who I thought I had at one point in this video, but that must have been a different Tucker. You got Steve Smith, who was the 2nd overall pick in last year's draft. He's already 23 years old, but he will be going to his sophomore year, so he's still fairly young compared to the rest of the NBA. You got Vinny Del Negro, who ended up being a coach in the league. Terry Mills, Steve Stepanovich, Keon Goodwillie, Carl Graham, David Wingate, and that is the squad right there. And the Minnesota Timberwolves were not great last year, so this should be a little bit more of a challenge than the Nets were in the last episode, since they were 27-55, which was basically I think the 5th or 6th worst record in the NBA. And this is a solid draft class. Like, there is some talent here at the top. Just kind of going over our player stats of last year. And if I do show you guys the top prospects, if you remember, it's Shaquille O'Neal, it's Alonzo Mourning, Christian Laettner's in this class as well. In the 1991 draft, or excuse me, it's the 1992 draft, so I do have that incorrect. There you go, Alfonso Ellis, Robert Horry, Latrell Sprewell. So hope we do get lucky in the lottery. Let's see who does retire. Dale Dawkins, we did have him for the New Jersey Nets at the start of that episode as well. Alex English, one of the greatest scorers of all time. He retires with the Chicago Bulls. Brad Davis, Jack Sigma. There goes Michael Cooper, Mike Woodson, Darrell Griffith, Ricky Brown, Charles Davis, Eddie Johnson retires as well on the Sacramento Kings. Bunch of coaches retiring as well here in this save. You have Alex English and Jack Sigma both going to the Hall of Fame. As you can kind of see, 11-time All-Star for English, 12 for Sigma. Neither of them got any MVPs or 6 Man of the Years. Jack Sigma did win a championship, though, at one point. So let's look at the jersey retirements. English gets his jersey retired by the Nuggets. Jack Sigma by the Supersonics. Here are the historical changes. So the shot clock only resets when the ball hits the rim. We have different brandings to the Hornets, Knicks, Suns, and Chicago Bulls. There's no expansion teams here entering the league, which is nice. Like, we don't need that right now. We don't need to lose any players in an expansion draft. So let's see what happens here in the 1992 draft lottery. We are projected the 4th pick, so we could get lucky. Imagine I could add Shaquille O'Neal to this team with Glenn Rice, Rod Strickland, and Steve Smith. That would be pretty cool. So let's see how this goes. And we end up with the 7th overall pick. Damn. So we drop from 4 to 7. We get very unlucky there. And the Boston Celtics end up with the number 1 overall pick. Denver at 2 and Detroit at 3. The Suns via San Antonio get the 4th pick. Clippers at 5, Bulls at 6. Damn. We said we got unlucky in the lottery. I really wanted Shaquille O'Neal or somebody like that. So we have literally no coaches, no scouts, no trainers under contract. What is going on here? I mean, I would love to pick up one of the best coaches in the league, Don Nelson, but we just have no money if I did that. All right, so as much as I would love Don Nelson, I'm going to decline that and pick up Casey Jones for a lot cheaper of a price because we just don't have the money to deal with that, because I need to sign some other players as well, coaches. All right, so we could look to make a decision if I wanted to trade up. Shaq is really going to be a Celtic. There's been all the Shaq Celtics memes right now, but yeah, he's really going to end up being one. I think if Alonzo Mourning does not go number 2, I would probably try to trade up and get him, but I don't know if that's going to be the case. All right, so there is a chance I trade the pick if there's not somebody I like. They're at 7. Shaquille O'Neal is a Boston Celtic out of LSU. That's crazy. So the Celtics kind of dominated the 80s. They have Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, and others, and then now they got Shaq. I think Larry Bird is now on the Milwaukee Bucks. Alonzo Mourning does go 2 to Denver. Wow, Christian Laettner ends up with the Detroit Pistons. There you go at number 3. For the Phoenix Suns, take Tom Gugliotta, who I feel like was the Sun. Jim Jackson goes 5 to the Clippers, and Alfonso Ellis goes 6 to Chicago. So I don't really want to take Robert Horry here. I think I may look to trade the pick. All right, I don't know if I'm going to move my 1st round pick yet, but the Celtics had Dikembe Mutombo, who they took 10th overall last year. Now that they drafted Shaq, I wonder if I could maybe just give up like my 2nd round pick for him. They say no. I would throw in Let's see. Maybe Jerry Sitching here because we do have another point guard. What about just Sitching straight up for Mutombo? I think this would be worth our while as well if we could do this trade. They say no. All right, what about if I throw and pick 35? Really? You're not going to do that? And I gave you my second round pick next year. Why aren't you moving? Why aren't you moving Mutombo? 3 second round picks gets it done. Okay, there we go. So we pick up Mutombo. We're still on the clock. All right, so at the end of the day, I'm just going to draft Robert Horry here with the 7th overall pick out of Alabama, who is probably going to be a role player for us down the line. He's a 73 overall at the age of 21. Yeah, maybe not the best pick in the world. Maybe I should have took Latrell Sprewell or Doug Christie, but I mean, they don't look too much better. It was kind of a two-man draft. I mean, with O'Neal and Mourning, but then Waitner and Gugliotta, and even Jim Jackson, Alfonso Ellis were solid picks. So we really got boned there in the lottery. Let's sign Robert Horry. Let's bring back Glenn Rice and Terry Mills on their team options. I mean, this team definitely has depth. Now, if we had cap space, that would be something else. I feel like we won't. I would like to bring back Rod Strickland and Vinny Del Negro as well. So let's go here to moratorium. Do I have enough money to sign Magic Johnson? I do not, but I mean, who does? So Strickland is restricted, so we can kind of wait on him a little bit. What are the odds I could pick up Derek Coleman in free agency? I mean, I don't know if I could sign him to a deal and then still bring back Strickland. Like, I don't know his cap hold. Strickland, I don't know. It might be tough. Actually, you know what I think I could do? I could sign Coleman, but I would have to let Vinny Del Negro and James Donaldson walk, which is fine with me because we do have a solid amount of point guard depth. And Donaldson, I mean, that will hurt a little bit, but I think we'll be fine. So let's get Derek Coleman. Let's make sure Rod Strickland doesn't sign elsewhere, and we picked up a nice power forward. And you know what? Let's bring back Rod Strickland on a 4-year deal. And I think we now have a nice core here in Minnesota. Like, this team definitely has a solid amount of depth right now. Like, we have 9 guys that I feel comfortable playing with. We just kind of got to get some other guys here. I mean, let's try to bring back Trent Tucker on a 1 or 2-year deal. Yeah, that's fine with me. Oh, and I think I can also sign James Donaldson. Can I sign both of them? That would actually be huge for us. Let's see. Can I get both? Come on, give me both. There. Oh, I can't get Tucker, damn. So I'm going to look to get Anthony Bowie, and then that's probably it for me in free agency. Magic Johnson goes to the Miami Heat, so he's been on 4, or I guess technically 4 teams in this, well, now, 4 different instances. He was on, like, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. He was on the Lakers twice. He had a Jazz stint for a little bit, and now he's on the Miami Heat. Hakeem Olajuwon leaves Chicago and goes to Atlanta, or excuse me, leaves Cleveland. He only did 1 year in Cleveland. Larry Bird spent 3 years in Milwaukee, and now he's in Philadelphia. Karl Malone goes to the Bucks. John Stockton stays in Portland. Charles Barkley stays in Houston. Moses Malone leaves Philly. He's been there so long, and he goes to Detroit. Kiki Vanderway goes to Dallas. Kelly Chupacca goes back to the Clippers. Chris Mullin stays in Indiana. I'm excited for Derek Coleman and Dikembe Mutombo in that front court. Both of them ended up playing for the New Jersey Nets at some point in their careers. So we see Strickland, Coleman, Smith, and Mills all go up in overalls, which is nice to see. Glenn Rice does not go up, but that's fine. All right, so here's going to be the rotation for year 1. We have Rod Strickland, Steve Smith, Glenn Rice, Derek Coleman, Dikembe Mutombo, with Terry Mills, Jerome Kersey, Darwin Cook, James Donaldson, and Robert Horry off the bench. This is a good team, man. Under KC Jones, we are a 3-star balance. All right, first game of the season is on the road against Boston, going up against Shaquille O'Neal, and we end up beating them by 1 point. I forgot they do have Zeke as well. Isaiah Thomas. Shaq puts up 20 and 11 in his NBA debut. Rod Strickland does not shoot the ball all that well, but still gets 21 and 7. Glenn Rice had 19 and 7. Terry Mills 19 points and 5 rebounds off the bench. Coleman 6, 8, and 4 in his Timberwolves debut. Second game is against the Warriors, in which we end up winning by 2. Wow, so we win a game by 1 to start off the season, then a game by 2. Glenn Rice with a 24-point triple-double. Terry Mills with 19 and 14. Steve Smith with 26, 4, 4, and 6. 6 steals. Oh, yeah. We do end up winning the third game of the season. Glenn Rice has 39 points. Oh, yeah, he's off to an amazing start. Home game here against Seattle. Danny Manning for Rod Strickland. I will not be doing that. And we end up winning. Rod Strickland puts up 29 and 8. I feel like anybody on this team, like, we have like 6 different guys that could be the highest scorer on any given night. We are 5-0 to start the year. Oh my goodness. I had great luck in the final year of that Nets rebuild in the last episode, but now we're having great luck with the Timberwolves. We have not lost yet. We are 6-0. We just beat David Robinson and Dominique Wilkins with Glenn Rice and Rob Strickland. What is going on? Home game against the Nets, and we are 7-0 to start the year. All right, I feel like I can go 82-0 in one of these episodes. We do lose our first game. We started off 8-0 We lost to Orlando. All right, Jerome Kersey did break his right ankle. He's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. That is a brutal injury to have. He is 30 years old as well, so that's fine. I don't think I'm going to go down to or keep with the 10-man rotation. I think I like what we have right now. And I like Terry Mills as a 6-man man. I probably shouldn't even have signed Derek Coleman because he may be better than Derek Coleman right now. So there's a chance even he gets moved in the offseason. Dikembe Mutombo, can you shoot the ball a little bit better? You're 7'2". Why do you have a 39% field goal percentage? You may get a little bit more minutes. And then let's play Steve Smith, Glenn Rice, Rod Strickland, all 36 minutes a night. Yeah, let's do that because Rice having a good year at age 25. Steve Smith in year 2 is kind of a beast. And then we have Rod Strickland who's averaging 17 and 8.5 and shooting 42% from 3. We have no contract extensions at the moment right now. Any major injuries? Sean Butler tore his right ACL. Larry Drew, damn, at age 34, dislocates his left patella. Adrian Dantley. All right, we did have him with the Nets at one point where we won a championship with him. He broke his right ankle, out 1 to 2 months. Rick Smits is hurt as well, out 8 to 10 weeks. All right, so we're about to approach the trade deadline. We've been a little bit worse as of late. We are 23 and 18, which is still the 5 seed in the Western Conference. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. We've been kind of falling off a little bit as of late. Glenn Rice has still been our top scorer. He's a restricted free agent at the end of the year. Then it's Rod Strickland, Steve Smith, Terry Mills, who's 25 years old. He's the same age as Coleman. I don't know. Man, I kind of regret the Mutombo trade. I do. I mean, I didn't really give up too much. It was all second round picks, which is fine. So I don't think I'm going to make any trades at the trade deadline this year. If we take a look at the award races right now, just to see who's like front runner for the MVP, it's David Robinson, then Hakeem Olajuwon, Magic Johnson, Reggie Miller, averaging 30 points per game for the New Jersey Nets. Then there's Scottie Pippen. You got Shaq at the top of the Rookie of the Year race. Jay Humphries for 6th Man of the Year. Depoy, Hakeem Olajuwon. Steve Smith, Most Improved. That would be cool if we were able to get maybe him to win that award this year. Mark Aguirre for Clutch Player of the Year. Also, just wanted to take a look at the mock drafts, as it's not the greatest draft class here in 1993 of Jamal Mashburn. You know what? I honestly I spoke too soon because you got Chris Webber, you got Penny Hardaway, you got Nick Van Exel, you have Allen Houston as well, so it's actually not too bad. And it's crazy the Orlando Magic could have had Chris Webber and Shaquille O'Neal play together, but then they traded the number 1 overall pick for Penny Hardaway, which is obviously like pretty good, but yeah, that would have just been an insane front court to have. I'm not going to be making any trades. I do think that we have enough depth to withstand injuries if they were to happen. So yeah, let's go past the 1993 trade deadline and hopefully go into the postseason with some momentum. Oh, Glenn Rice, right knee tendonitis. At least it's only 2 to 4 weeks. Could be worse. Oh, Terry Mills breaks his right leg. He's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. Well, I guess that's why you get Derek Coleman, folks. Damn, that hurts. So he's going to be out mainly the playoffs unless we advance to round 2 or round 3. Probably round 3 at the minimum. David Robinson ends up winning MVP. Well, yeah, we had him back in episode 2, and he's just been a beast ever since. You can make an argument he's the best player in the NBA. It's pretty much him and Hakeem Olajuwon right now. Michael Jordan just hasn't been like that, which is weird. So I kind of want to revive his career at some point because this is really the Jordan era in the 90s, and he has not been really at the top of his game. We do get Steve Smith for Most Improved. Cody Maxwell, Coach of the Year of the Phoenix Suns. Reggie Miller has a foot injury, out 1 to 2 weeks now, which is good. It's not longer than that. You have Magic Johnson, Karl Malone, Scottie Pippen, and David Robinson all on the NBA first team. Scottie Pippen, he's been in Phoenix for a while now. All NBA second team, you got Zeke, Tim Hardaway, Barkley, Mark Aguirre, and Hakeem Olajuwon. Mohamed Abdur-Rauf, Clyde Drexler, Larry Bird, Larry Johnson, and Vlade Divac on All-NBA third team. All defensive first team, you got David Robinson, Hakeem Olajuwon, Pippen, Vlade, and Patrick Ewing in Sacramento, who was drafted here back in, I think, episode 1, or the first season of episode 1, and he's still there, which is pretty cool to see. Robert Horry does not make an all-rookie team, unfortunately. We didn't really get anybody on any of these awards. Now that I noticed, we are going to be taking on the Houston Rockets in round 1. We did fall to the 7th seed, unfortunately. So yeah, we got to go up against Charles Barkley and David Robinson. That, oh my God, and Dominique Wilkins. That 3-4-5 is legendary. Here have been the stats for this team. So yeah, we're going to be without Terry Mills. Okay, for 1 to 2 weeks. Wow, that's a pretty good recovery from the broken right leg. There's Smith, Strickland, and Rice at the top of their games. We'll have Coleman as the starting power forward with the injury to Mills. Mutombo, I do regret. I thought I was buying in really low once they drafted Shaq, and he didn't have a great rookie year, but he's been pretty bad for us. So, Robert Horry, you want a lot of championships in real life? Can you bring us that luck over here? He's probably going to get 10 minutes a game. Mutombo's going to come off the bench. We got Jerome Kersey, probably going to get 20 minutes a night. Darwin Cook, the backup point guard. Honestly, he may get 20 minutes, and I'll go 25 to Kersey. We're going to have James Donaldson be the starting center. He'll get 27. We're probably going to look for an upgrade at the center spot in the offseason. 32 to Coleman, 38 to Rice Smith, and we'll do 35 to Strickland. Honestly, 30 to Coleman, 37 to Strickland. There we go. System proficiency with this squad, 3.5-star balance. Let's take a look here at the league leaders of the 1993 season, as I'm sure, like, I do want to see what MJ's numbers are, because, yeah, I feel like they've been kind of disappointing. Reggie Miller, hurt, but, yeah, led the NBA in scoring. He was so good for us in the last 3 years that we did and controlled him with the Nets. You have Mohamed Abdul-Rauf, the second overall pick in the 90 draft in year 3. This guy, wow, he's balling out already. I was thinking about doing Orlando as well, because they were a newer expansion team with Minnesota. You have David Robinson, Magic Johnson, Mitch Richmond, Clyde, Tim Hardaway, Olajuwon Mullen, and Isaiah Thomas, top 10 of scoring. Rebounds, you got Robinson, Olajuwon, Divac, Rick Smits, and Ronnie Cycli. Then you got Daughtry, Barkley, Oliver, Dino Raja. Okay, he's pretty good. 9th overall pick in the 89 draft. And then there's Terry Cummings. We rostered him at one point. And it's Watley. Oh, yeah. I mean, he can't hit a shot, but, dude, this guy is just throwing lobs to Shaquille O'Neal, probably. You got Terry Porter, Isaiah Thomas, Gary Payton, and Magic Johnson there. Gary Payton, the glove, the 3rd overall pick in the 90 draft, is your steals leader. No surprise there. And then there's Robinson in blocks per game. But if I go to the Clippers here, I do want to just take a look at Michael Jordan's stats, because Michael Jordan hasn't been great. Oh, my goodness. Wow. MJ really never became all that. Huh. He has regressed down to his 77 overall. Wow. And I even messed with his potential a little bit. And I think I'm not giving more the benefit of the doubt. So in this save, Michael Jordan doesn't become Michael Jordan. Would you look at that? That is crazy. Maybe I try to trade for Jordan at one point. He's making $2 million, though, and that's a decent amount for the save in this day and age in 1993. We get blown out by Houston in Game 1. Robinson, Wilkins, Barkley combined for 90 points. All 3 of them. That is absurd. Rob Strickland. I can't say his name. Rod Strickland, not Rob Strickland. 28 and 8. Smith had 23 and 2, 6 turnovers. Glenn Rice had 16, 7, and 5 in this blowout L. Game number 2, this is kind of must win, and we end up losing it by 11. Robinson with 34, 16, 4, and 4. Wilkins with 29, 25, 17, and 7 for Charles Barkley. You have Glenn Rice with 35 and 5. Rod Strickland 23, 6, and 6 steals. Game number 3. Oh, yeah, I forgot it's still best of 5. We get eliminated in 3 games. Was it even close? Was game 3 even close? All right, at least it was somewhat of a fight. We lost by 5 points because we got blown out in games 1 and kind of game 2, 11. I mean, it's not close, but it's not a blowout. But game 3, at least we made it somewhat respectable. But yeah, we're still a tier below any of these other teams in the NBA. Or at least, yeah, those top tier teams. You got the Phoenix Suns, who were really good throughout the regular season with Cliff Robinson, Stacey King, Eugene Grady, Mitch Richmond, and Scottie Pippen. That's the duo right there. They're going up against Sacramento with Patrick Ewing. Over there, you have Houston with the guys that we just went up against, and then you got San Antonio, who have a really good front court. They got Chuck Person, they got Craig Elo, who is a former Rocket, and then you got Kenny Anderson there at the point. They have Olden Polynice too off the bench, which is kind of nice player to have right there. Over in the East, you got Philly and Miami, Atlanta and Milwaukee. Atlanta doesn't have Karl Malone anymore, but they do have Hakeem Olajuwon. You have Bill Laimbeer, Karl Malone in Milwaukee there, because Larry Bird is no longer there as well. Philly's got Larry Bird, Dennis Rodman there at the 4, Fab Lever there at the 1, and then Miami does have Clark Kellogg, Ed Pickney, then they also have Nick Anderson and Magic Johnson. Yeah, so MJ, that's cool. Gotta stop calling him MJ. Look at Magic Johnson versus Larry Bird, but on the Sixers and Heat, not the Lakers and Celtics. So let's see who's going to go to the NBA Finals and win it. Miami with Magic Johnson sweep Philly, but then get swept by Atlanta, and Atlanta ends up winning it all with Hakeem Olajuwon getting Finals MVP. They ended up beating Philly in 5 after Philly beat Houston in 5. Damn. So, yeah. Hakeem Olajuwon wins the Finals MVP. Is he going to dominate the 90s? He finally got that ring. He hasn't gotten one yet, but he's got multiple MVPs, I believe, now, and he now has that Finals MVP. Dennis Johnson, Moses Malone, Adrian Dantley all retire. Marcus Johnson as well. Bill Cartwright. There goes James Donaldson. Yeah, we definitely need to work on our center depth this offseason. A bunch of coaches retiring as well. This is why I have no coaches or scouts on my team. They're all retiring. Moses Malone and Adrian Dantley are heading to the Hall of Fame. Moses Malone, rightfully so, gets his jersey retired by Philadelphia. Adrian Dantley by the Jazz. Malone also gets his jersey retired by the Houston Rockets. And then you have Reggie Theus retiring there and getting his jersey retired by the Chicago Bulls. I called him, I think, like Teus at one point. Well, I'm glad I know it's Theus now. And then Marcus Johnson also, or Marcus Johnson, yeah, gets his jersey retired by the Milwaukee Bucks. So we have just branding changes to the Denver Nuggets, the Dallas Mavericks, and the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm excited to see what those new logos are. The Bucks one looks like it barely changed. I honestly like this Timberwolves logo. Like this one and then like the KG one in like the 2000s, I like so much better than the current one, but that's just me. So 44 and 38 last year. Let's hope to improve the roster going into the 1994 season. We do have our first round pick, so let's see where it's going to be. I'm not sure kind of the current spot at the moment. So it's going to be at 15, which isn't too bad. The Clippers get the #1 pick. Celtics at 2, Pistons at 3. They can get Isaiah Thomas, Shaquille O'Neal. I don't know. Is Weber a lock to go #1? Looks like it. They could end up with Penny Hardaway or Jamal Mashburn out of Kentucky. So we could look to make a trade. I don't know. There wasn't really like a top tier center yet to possibly trade up for. Yeah, I don't know. But we do need to be in the market for a center. I would not be opposed to moving Derek Coleman, who I did trade or assign last year, because I do like Terry Mills, and I think he's even a little bit better at the moment. We could try to flip Mutombo. We could try to move Darwin Cook, but I think we're going to just draft a guy right now and then maybe look to move that pick. Ooh, I can get Kenny Smith for Derek Coleman. Could I get a center? Joe Barry Carroll. I feel like I've got him on so many different teams. Really just the Clippers and Houston at one point. But yeah, I'm really in the market for a center. Horace Grant. Like I said, I need kind of a center on this team going forward. So I think we're just going to make our selection at 15 for now. Chris Webber goes to the LA Clippers. Yep, that is a huge addition there. Vin Baker goes #2, so it's a Vin Baker, Shaquille O'Neal front court over in Boston. Penny Hardaway goes to Detroit. That's a steal there at 3. Jamal Mashburn goes #4 to the Pacers, and the Bulls at #5 are trading their pick in a 95 second for Sleepy Floyd and a 97 first. Golden State, who's been very irrelevant in this whole Ultimate Rebuilding series so far, trades up to take Isaiah Ryder out of UNLV. And they also have back-to-back picks too, and they end up with Nick Van Exel out of Cincinnati. Albert Lowry goes. The Seattle Supersonics select Oliver Brown there at #8. Calbert Genie there goes to Denver, and then Allen Houston goes to Dallas at #10. That's a steal. We could trade the 15th overall pick for Bernard King, who is 36 years old, but I don't really think that puts us over the edge at the moment. Rondo Blackman would be nice, but he's 34. I don't really want to keep trading for any of these mid-30 guys. So I'm going to take Sean Bradley. Yeah, the 7'6" center out of BYU. Let's do it. 7'6". We could end up trading him, but at worst, at least we have another body. 7'6" is just crazy. He played 12 years in the NBA. They called him the Stormin' Mormon just because he went to BYU. And he did go to high school in Utah as well. And Chris Webber's an 82 overall at the age of 20 right there. Let's sign Sean Bradley. Any team player options, Smith, Mills, and Mutombo. Let's pick up all of those options. So we are going to extend the qualifying offer to Glenn Rice and Anthony Bowie. Why not? So yeah, I do want to bring back Glenn Rice, even if we think he's like the answer or not. It's not like we have cap space right now. I still need to be in the market for some centers. So Jerome Kersey, let's bring him back. We could also look to trade him as well. But yeah, Glenn Rice is restricted, so I don't really have to worry about giving him a deal right now. He does get an offer from the Orlando Magic. That'd be a nice pickup for them. So we are going to match that deal. $14 million over 4 years. Patrick Ewing ends up going to the Chicago Bulls. So I was saying he was loyal to Sacramento. Well, now he leaves for Chicago. So Chicago's had Hakeem Olajuwon and now Patrick Ewing in the Ultimate Rebuilding Series. Chuck Person leaves San Antonio to go to Orlando. Joe Dumars stays in Seattle. Kevin McHale leaves Boston after spending 13 years there to go to the Atlanta Hawks. Vlade Divac stays in Portland. We re-signed Glenn Rice. Charles Oakley stays in Dallas. There's Sean Kemp staying with the New Jersey Nets, who was a beast for us when we were controlling the Nets. All right, so I'm going to make this trade with the Orlando Magic. I'm going to be giving them Derek Coleman and Dikembe Mutombo for Jared Scott, who is a 22-year-old center, 7-footer out of Villanova. He was the 5th overall pick 2 drafts ago in 1991. And we're getting Malik Sealy there, but he's really not going to be in our rotation at all. So yeah, let's agree to this trade. Scott is going to be our new center. Him and Sean Bradley is the duo. Terry Mills at the 4. Now the remaining kind of days here in free agency, I'm just going to go out and sign some big man depth pieces all to the minimum. Glenn Rice regresses. Okay, is Steve Smith now the player we are building around? It kind of looks like it. All right, Jared Scott is up to an 83 overall. That's basically what Derek Coleman was, so I like that trade for us. I think like Terry Mills and Jared Scott is going to be a good front court duo Mo this year, and Robert Horry goes up 2 overalls, which is nice. All right, so we're going to heavily rely on our starting 5, with Strickland, Smith, and Rice all getting 34 minutes, 33 minutes to the front court, and then we have Kersey, Horry, Bradley, and Darwin Cook all off the bench. System proficiency is 3.5 star balance under KC Jones. First game of the season is at home against the Sacramento Kings, who no longer have Patrick Ewing as all right. Jared Scott in his Timberwolves debut, 22, 12, 3, and 7 blocks. Are you kidding me? 15 assists there for Rod Strickland. Yeah, I think that is going to be a great trade for us down the line, even though it's just been one game. But like in this game, 14 and 9. All right, let's see if he can also be like top 5 in blocks this year. That would be nice to see. I would like to see Rod Strickland top 5 in assists. I think that is possible, and I hope to get a full healthy season out of Terry Mills as well, as we got a road game here against the Houston Rockets, and we are now 3-0 to start off the 1994 NBA season. It's got a nice draft class there at the top with Jason Kidd, Grant Hill, Glenn Robinson. You got Jalen Rose in this class as well. Rod Strickland breaks his left arm. He's out 6 to 8 weeks. Hey, I'd rather it happen now than in the playoffs, or at least close to it. We're 18 and 4 to start the season as well, which is brutal. We are the 1 seed in the Western Conference. The Washington Bullets are 23 and 2 with Ron Harper, Chris Morris, Lawrence Irving, JT Gilmore, Eugene Grady. How are they 23 and 2? I'm really confused. Like, that just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Steve Smith has been our leading scorer. Just elite efficiency. There's Terry Mills, 18.5, 7.5. There's Rod Strickland, 18 and 10 before he goes down with the injury. That is brutal. 2.2 blocks a night for Jared Scott. But yeah, Terry Mills is pretty good. He might be better than Glenn Rice at this point. All right, so we are approaching the 1994 trade deadline. We are 27 in 12 right now. I don't know if I'm going to be making any trades. It's really tough to make midseason trades, especially with like these salaries and kind of where everything's headed right now. But yeah, Jared Scott has been fine. Good rebounder, 1.8 blocks a night. Rod Strickland's averaging 17 and 9. He's back healthy. His efficiency has taken a hit though. Glenn Rice, 18.5 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. He's pretty consistent for us. He is. Terry Mills, this guy is good, man. 19 points, 7.5 rebounds, 63-40, 72 splits. Need him to stay healthy, but Steve Smith looks like he's the guy we are building around. All right, I'm going to be making one trade though at the deadline. Darwin Cook, who's 35 years old, and Anthony Bowie, who's not even in the rotation, for Eldon Campbell, who I did draft with the Nets, if you remember in the last episode, but he's been on 3 different teams now. But we're getting Michael Jordan. Yep, I'm taking on MJ's contract. He's going to be, I think, a way better 9th man than Darwin Cook for us, going into the end of the regular season. He also could definitely be a better backup point guard as well. Solid facilitator, just 30 years old. Maybe MJ still has it in him. His potential is literally a 99, and he's a 74 overall. What happened? So yeah, my one move was trading for Michael Jordan, who has not been the GOAT of this series. This might be the Olajuwon era. We'll see, though. Let's hope that we can maybe at least win a playoff series. That's really the goal at the end of the year. Actually, now that we're past the trade deadline, here is the MVP race. David Robinson, maybe it's his era, I should say. He's number 1 there in MVP. Then it's Ewing, Malone, Morris, and Miller. No Olajuwon. I wonder if he got hurt. You got Chris Webber at the top of the Rookie of the Year ladder. Terrell Bryant at the top of the 6th Man of the Year ladder. There's David Robinson and Akeem Olajuwon, whose numbers have dropped. Now that he's hit 30, okay. I wonder what his peak age is. Maybe that has something to do with it. And Patrick Ewing, top of the clutch player. So we are 30 and 13. Let's keep chugging along and hopefully could be a top seed in the Western Conference this year. David Robinson picks up another MVP award. This guy is so freaking good. Chris Webber wins Rookie of the Year for the Clippers. Terrell Bryant wins 6th Man of the Year. David Robinson wins DPOY. Dante Claxton Most Improved. Terrence Ross, maybe not that Terrence Ross, Coach of the Year for the Washington Bullets. I did not think they were going to be that good. Chris Webber on All-NBA First Team as a rookie. Well, yeah, he's generational. Beats Shaq to it because Shaq is, better. It's just David Robinson's got the center spot, and these aren't positionalists yet because Shaq was absurd in his second season. 24 and 10 and 2.5 blocks, 62% field goal percentage. There's Sean Kemp making it as well. That's cool to see. Stockton, Morris, Barkley, Pippen, and Devot's on All NBA Third Team. No Timberwolves in sight, though, unfortunately. Yeah, just no love there. We are the 1 seed, though, in the Western Conference. We're taking on the Denver Nuggets in round 1. We went 57 and 25. The Blazers went 56 and 26. The Bolts went 66 and 16. That's absurd. And yeah, we're going to be taking on the Denver Nuggets, who don't have Dennis Hill anymore. They have Dennis Scott. We have our own Scott. They have Buck Williams there at the 4. Alonzo Mourning, yeah, he's pretty good too for the 2nd overall pick in his 2nd season. They have Danny Ferry, Randy White, Rex Chapman, and Calvert Cheney off the bench as well. Let's take a look here at the player stats at the end of the season, as Steve Smith was our leading scorer, 22 points, 3.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists. Glenn Rice, 18.8 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. 17 and 9 for Rod Strickland. And then there's Terry Mills with 17-7. And over assists tonight, which is nice to see. 3.5 assists for Jerome Kersey. And then there's Jared Scott, 8.5 points, 8.5 rebounds, 1.5 blocks a night. Michael Jordan, I mean, not bad. I actually think that's a solid pickup for us. So we are fully healthy going into the playoffs, which is nice. So Michael Jordan, Robert Horry, I think are both going to get 15 minutes a night off the bench. Sean Bradley, you can get about 16. Jerome Kersey, I think you're going to get like 23. So I'd like to go 33 minutes to the front court, maybe even more. Glenn Rice, Steve Smith, and Strickland. I think Scott could probably play 31 minutes. I think Kersey could play like 20. And then let's go 36 minutes to Strickland, 36 to Smith, 36 to Rice. And yeah, we can go now 33 to Jerome Scott. We are 3.5 star balanced. And it's Jared Scott, not Jerome Scott. But it doesn't look like he was a real player, actually. And we lose game 1 by 18 points. Come on, man. That is just brutal. That is brutal. All right, game number 2. We end up with the victory. We win by 11. Steve Smith with 26, 6, and 6. 16 and 10 for Strickland. 12 rebounds for Terry Mills. All right, let's now take a game 3 victory, please. I don't want to go down 2-1, backs against the wall. Oh my goodness, really? I don't think I've lost to an 8 seed yet in the playoffs as a 1 seed in round 1. Is this really going to be the first time? Because it's best of 5, so if we lose this game, we are eliminated, and we were a 1 seed, which would kill. And then next year's the final year too, so oh man, this is a close one. Don't lose it, please. We're up by 4 points, and we are going to prevail. What a fourth quarter. We outscored them by 13, and then we end up winning by 19. Terry Mills with a great performance. So game 5, rubber match here. I don't need this stress in round 1, but it's happening right now as they outscore us by a decent amount in the first, but nothing too crazy that we can't come back from. But we're down by 9 with 9 minutes to go, and we end up choking it. Oh my goodness. You guys just lost to an 8 seed. All right, I think we have to have a question to ourselves. Is Glenn Rice the answer? I may move Glenn Rice in the offseason. I have to. Next year's the final year. You got Charlotte and Washington, New Jersey and Atlanta, Portland and Houston, Utah and Denver. Utah's got the glove Gary Payton, Dennis Hobson, Larry Nance as well. Who do the Hornets have? They have Kenny Smith, Bernard King, who has regressed this year. I'm glad I didn't trade for him. Kenny Walker, Rod Williams, Stacey King, Sean Oliver as well. Who is advancing into the conference finals? Bullets, Nets, Blazers, Nuggets. The Bullets are just that good. I'm kind of shocked. And who's going to be going to the NBA Finals? 8-seeded Nuggets. Are you kidding me? Are they going to go? No, they ended up losing. So you have a 2-seeded Blazer team versus a 1-seeded Bullets team. And the Bullets, I don't know how that team is good, but they just swept the finals. And Chris Morris is your finals MVP. What? How is that team good? Like, on paper, I would just not expect them to be just dominating the NBA right now, but they kind of did throughout the regular season and in the playoffs. You have Bill Laimbeer, Bernard King, Kevin McHale only plays 1 year in Atlanta. Rondo Blackman retires as well. Larry Drew, Danny Ainge, Dave Greenwood, John Paxson, Danny Shays, some notable names, Herb Williams, Paul Pressey. Kevin McHale does get his jersey retired by the Boston Celtics. We have some rule changes. The worst team will have improved odds of obtaining a top 3 pick. Teams with the same record will share the same odds of obtaining a top 3 pick. Players will be awarded free throws when fouled on a 3-point attempt. Wait, was that never a thing? Oh, I didn't even know that. We got brand changes to the Kings and to the Cavs now. All right, so it is the draft lottery time, and sometimes I think like we're the Mavericks, like the logos, like the color schemes are at least very similar. So I was like, wait, I have a top 10 pick? Possibly? No. We are going to be selecting at 25. Damn. First round exit, and we get the 25th overall pick. The Clippers got the number 1 pick again, and they're going to have a chance to select Chris Webber's teammate after getting Chris Webber last draft. And look at the Cavs. This one, I'm glad I don't remember because it is ass. I am not a fan of that logo compared to what else they've had over time. I'm going to keep Casey Jones as our head coach, though. All right, so let's see what goes down here in the 1993 NBA draft. Joel Goodwillie goes number 1 overall, who I don't even think is a real player. Good job, 2K, because they best on Jason Kidd. You could have had Jason. Oh, my God. You could have had Jason Kidd and Chris Webber. You really butchered that, LA. Nice job. Number 3 is Grant Hill out of Duke. Yeah. What? Like, 2K. Clippers, what are you doing? Glenn Robinson as well. Oh my God, 3 studs, 3 maybe eventual Hall of Famers go after the #1 overall pick, and he's probably going to be a bust unless I'm just like eating my words in a few years. I'm going to take Daryl McCormick here with our first round pick. Not sure if he's going to be a rotational guy. Could be in a trade. Daniel Marshall went to the New York Knicks at number 6, as we kind of saw there. Eddie Jones goes to the Orlando Magic at number 8. Jalen Rose to the Supersonics at number 10. Irving Jacobson, 75 overall, 19 years old, goes to the Hawks at number 12. And we also had a second round pick in Monty Elliott as well, who I will sign. We're going to pick up everybody's team option. Why would I not pick up Jared Scott's team option? That would be silly of me. Larry Bird is a free agent. Let's give Terry Mills, Eldon Campbell the qualifying offers, and Don Harrison as well. All right, so I don't know really what to do with this team. I can't really get that many great trade offers for Glenn Rice. We're going to make sure we bring back Terry Mills as well. We don't have any cap space as a team whatsoever. We are in the negative. Terry Mills gets an offer from the Philadelphia 76ers, 2 years, $8 million. We are going to match that, of course. Gary Payton goes back to the Utah Jazz. Larry Bird re-signs with Philadelphia. Dominique Wilkins goes back to the Houston Rockets. Mohamed Abdul-Rauf stays in Orlando. Mark Price, if you remember him, on the Houston Rockets. He ended up going to the Clippers for 4 years. Now he's in Milwaukee. Purvis Short goes to Cleveland from Golden State. He was like their only bright spot in this series so far. Rodney McRae goes to the Bucks. Doc Rivers to the Heat. Not the best free agency class in the world for sure. Rod Strickland's inside scoring goes down from a B to a B minus. Terry Mills is up to an 85 overall. Is this a championship team? No. It's not. I'm going to have to make a trade. So we got the 1995 draft class coming up with Kevin Garnett, Damon Stoudemire, Jerry Stackhouse, Theo Ratliff, Joe Smith, who was the #1 overall pick in this class, Michael Finley, Antonio McDyess. It's a sick draft class. All right, so yeah, it's going to be Strickland, Smith, Rice, Mills, and Scott in the starting 5. Kersey, Horry, Bradley, MJ, and, well, yeah, now the real MJ, and Don Harrison off the bench. Let's see how this team performs. Hopefully we can stay healthy. Hopefully we can still be really good at the trade deadline or maybe close to it. I think I will make a trade. It's probably going to involve Glenn Rice. Robert Horry breaks his right ankle. He's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. Better it happen now than later in the year, like I'll say. All right, trade deadline time. 28-13. Do I feel confident in this current roster, who are the 1 seed in the Western Conference? Once again, we would have the 3rd best record in the NBA. To do something, I don't know. I didn't really add to this team in the offseason, and we had a first-round exit last year. We have a solid trio of Terry Mills, Glenn Rice, and Steve Smith, but I just don't know if it's good enough, you know? To be honest with you, I really can't find a trade that I like, so I think we're going to ride with what we got. And let's hope for the best. I don't think we're going to get eliminated in round 1 once again. I like our scoring options of these in the top 3. Rod Strickland is averaging 10 assists tonight. We just got to get Scott healthy. We just got to get Sean Bradley healthy again, and I think we'll be okay. All right, we have been on a tear in the second half of the year. The month of February was so good to us right now. We are 52-15. We're not going to get an MVP. You got 2 Nets there with Reggie Miller and Sean Kemp. Karl Malone on the Bucks with their new logo. David Robinson is going to win another MVP, it looks like. Glenn Robinson, top of the Rookie of the Year ladder. No #1 overall pick. Like, I already forgot his name. That's how relevant he's going to be, it looks like. Tony Kukoc, who is 26 years old, on the Dallas Mavericks, top of the 6th Man of the Year leaderboard. David Robinson might win a DPOY. Yeah, he's really going to go down as the GOAT. It seems like it. And yep, there it is. David Robinson wins the 1995 MVP award. Glenn Robinson, so shout out to the Robinsons, get Rookie of the Year. Terrell Parker, 6th Man of the Year. David Robinson, DPOY. Calbert Chaney gets Most Improved in Denver. He's 23 in his 2nd year. He gets it. And we get Coach of the Year in Casey Jones. There we go. We go 67-15. Damn, we flirted with 90 wins. Come on, you could have had Jason Kidd and Chris Webber. Oh, you could have had Glenn Robinson and Chris Webber. You could have had Grant Hill and Chris Webber, but you butched it. Tim Hardaway killing it in Indiana now that he's kind of in his prime. You have Mohamed Abdul-Rauf. You have John Stockton, Sean Kemp, Calbert Chaney, and Patrick Ewing on 2nd team. 3rd team, Hakeem, Pippen, Glenn Robinson, Drexler, and Magic Johnson. Just no Timberwolves making anything throughout this video. The #1 overall pick, Joel Goodwillie, is on all rookie 2nd team. I mean, fine counting stats for rookie, like could be worse, but 38% field goal percentage, that's disgusting. And we are taking on the 8-seeded Golden State Warriors. All right, we should be able to beat this team. It's not that good. Here are the player stats with Steve Smith and Terry Mills running the show. Glenn Rice, there's Rod Strickland, Robert Horry, Jared Scott, Jerome Kersey, Michael Jordan. Yeah, I don't really know what to expect, man, in the playoffs. I am nervous. I hope it's not a 1st round exit, man. David Robinson, he's really going to be the GOAT. He really is going to be the GOAT. That is crazy. John Stockton led the NBA. It says Strickland was number 4. Steals was the glove. And blocks was Shaq in year 3. All right, so for the playoffs, we're definitely just going to have a 9-man rotation. I don't know if Michael Jordan's going to play. I think we can go 15 of these guys. Robert Horry has definitely been progressing, so he can get like 25 minutes a night. Let's go 31 to Scott. Let's go 36 to Terry Mills. Sure, well, he's really good. Let's go 36 to Glenn Rice. 37 to Steve Smith. Okay, never mind. I think we'll do 30, 34, 34, and I would like to go maybe at least 33 to Strickland and maybe one more to Rice and Mills. 3.5 star balance. Really haven't gotten too much better with that. Game 1 against the Warriors. All right, we win by 4 at home. That was a huge win. Oh, man, I'm nervous. I'm nervous. Let's win game 2. Don't let them tie it up. Oh, my goodness. I don't want to have a monumental collapse here. Don't go down 2-1. Okay, huge win there by 5 in overtime. Oh, man, I feel like we're a fraud 1 seed once again. We just won 67 games, and all right, we do get out of round 1. We beat the Warriors by 13, but we have a much tougher test going up against Denver in round 2, looking for revenge. So, yeah, going up against Denver, Terrell Brennan, George Gordon, they got Calbert Chaney, Buck Williams, Alonzo Mourning. Yeah, Alonzo Mourning is really good. Stacey King off the bench, Danny Ferry, Manute Bol. They have Phoenix and Utah over there, Washington and Atlanta, and Detroit and New Jersey. Game 1 against Denver, we pick up the win by 5 points. Almost choke it in the 4th quarter. Glenn Rice had 25. Game 2 goes to Dallas. We end up winning by 32 points. Strickland with 25. Terry Mills with 25 and 12. Let's go. We took a Game 3 victory as well. We ended up winning by 8 on the road, and we are now 1 game away from moving on to the conference finals. And boom, we swept them. We won by 1 point. Yes, we win the close one. Glenn Rice with 28, 23 and 14 for Strickland, 23 and 5 for Steve Smith. Who do we got? Phoenix or Utah? The Utah Jazz. The Jazz have the glove Gary Payton, man. He is really good. We know how good of a defender he is as well. They've left Shrimp off the bench as well. Tyrone Hill. You got the Bullets. Man, I guess they're just like a well-balanced team. And you got the Nets over here as well. Game 1 against the Jazz, we take home a victory by 25 points. Steve Smith and Glenn Rice combined for 49. Game 2 goes to the Minnesota Timberwolves, and now we are 2 games away from going to the 1995 NBA Finals. One more game, boys. One more game. We're up 3-0. We are showing up in the playoffs. We are currently 10-1. Make it... I was hoping to make it 11-1. All right, we lost by 4. Could be much worse. Game 5. All right, we have a 3-2 series here. Do not lose game 6, please. Oh my God. Okay. All right. Game 7. We're still fully healthy. There was a game 7 on the Eastern Conference side. It looks like Washington ended up advancing. All right, here we go. Game 7. We have blown a 3-0 lead to make it 3-3. Here we go. First quarter. It's been fine. I just don't want to go down. I just don't want to go down by a lot, or it just sucks the life out of me. All right, we played catch up a lot there in the second quarter, but we are currently up by 2. Good start to the third. 79 apiece. All right, up by 6, up by 5, up by 7, up by 5. Oh my God, please don't choke it. All right, here we go. We are going to watch this game in here. We got, I guess that's Larry Nance, right? Not Pete Nance. Kicks it over to Anderson at the top. We don't have the ball. All right, and just no threes. Don't let them get a 3. Oh, dude, where's the rim protect? Sean Bradley, he's 7'6" out there. They've developed Schrempf. They have Dennis Hobson. All right. Oh, man. Okay. Hobson driving to the rim. Bradley gets a tip on it. Claxton with the ball. Bradley with the block. Bradley gets the loose ball. Let's go. Up to Jerome Kersey here. Slow it down, man. We're up by 5. You don't need to go to the rim. All right. He finds Robert Horry. And then Robert Horry misses the dunk. Oh, my God. Robert Horry just missed the dunk. That could have been a dagger. That could have put us up by 7. Oh, my God. All right, they're running the pick and roll. Anderson for 3. No good. Oh, thank God. Robert Horry with the rebound. Are they fouling? Well, he throws it up to Glenn Rice, and Glenn Rice puts it in. That puts us up by 7 with 38 seconds to go. That could be it. What a pass there from Robert Horry. I did not think he was going to do that. I will take that. I was kind of nervous, but you know what? It worked out. We get a defensive stop. It's over. Kersey's playing great defense. Yep, hand on it. There we go. Harrison, I don't know why he's in. Maybe Scott fouled out. I don't know why, or Terry Mills fouled out. But we're up by 7 with 21 seconds to go. Yeah, we're going to be going to the NBA Finals. I don't know why Horry didn't want to waste more time. All right, Horry, you didn't need to do that. But yeah, thank God, man. If I blew a 3-0 lead, I was going to cry. But yeah, we're going to win. They're going to probably miss that 3. Let's go. All right, so we're taking on the Washington Bullets, who beat the Nets by 1 point in Game 7, man. What a series. Oh, it would have been cool to go against the Nets, the team we controlled in the previous video. Here we go. The Washington Bullets, man. I can't believe this team is this good. Just doesn't look that great on paper, but they are performing well. Game 1 goes to the Bullets by 3 points. Damn, we almost came back in the fourth quarter there. JT Gilmore with 27. Game 2 goes to the Minnesota Timberwolves. We win by 3. Why do I feel like this is definitely going to 7 games? We win Game 3 by 7 points. I feel like they're going to win Game 4. No chance we win it. Oh my God. Reverse psychology. Let's go. We win by 7. And we're now 1 game away from winning the 1995 NBA Finals. First quarter goes our way. Second quarter goes our way. There it is, folks. There it is. We don't even need to see the... Oh my God. We just won by 46 points. And we win the 1995 NBA Championship. This is kind of an underdog run. I feel like, I don't know. I guess it's not an underdog run. We won 67 games and we're a 1 seed. But Glenn Rice, I was going to trade him away. And he balls out for us and gets finals MVP. He is now enshrined in NBA history now. Puts up 19 points throughout the playoffs. Now when we go to league history, we could see him finals MVP. It's crazy because you got guys like Moses Malone, Larry Bird, Karl Malone, Hakeem Olajuwon. Then you have guys like Terry Porter. Don't know how he got it over Reggie Miller. Chris Morris, and now Glenn Rice getting a Finals MVP trophy. Well, I hope you guys did enjoy this episode. Oh, Jared Scott is not happy with his role. Okay. But yeah, I'm glad we won a championship in the final year and we didn't get disappointed. Like always, let me know in the comments maybe what team you want to see me do next. I kind of want to take control over the Warriors. They've just been so irrelevant. I mean, they are kind of on the way up. They were the 8th seed. Glenn Robinson looks really good. So we could control them. The Sixers are in an interesting spot too with a 38-year-old Larry Bird, a 34-year-old Fat Lever. So that could be fun. The Milwaukee Bucks, I'm not really sure about the Bullets. They were pretty good. The Chicago Bulls with Patrick Ewing, trying to get him a ring as he's 32 years old. I don't think he's gotten one yet. Mark Jackson, Dennis Scott, that could be fun. Purvis Short, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Jason Kidd, that'd be fun to use. The Celtics with Shaq and Isaiah Thomas could also be pretty fun, and Vin Baker and Shaq in that front court. The Clippers, I've already used them, but they would have been an interesting team to use. Atlanta with Hakeem, I'm not really sure about them. The Miami Heat, I think I don't really want to take control with Magic Johnson, as he's kind of too good right now. Kenny Smith and the Hornets, could use them. You guys got to let me know in the comments. Utah with the glove, Gary Payton. Sacramento seems like they're in limbo right now as well, now that Patrick Ewing is left, so we could take control of them. The New York Knicks as well don't look like they're anything too special. Lakers, hey, we can do the Lakers. The Lakers don't look too great, and their best player, James Worthy, is 34 years old. The Orlando Magic, I think, pretty solid. Same with the Dallas Mavericks. New Jersey Nets, we've already done. Denver with Alonzo Mourning. You guys got to let me know in the comments below. Pacers with Tim Hardaway. Mark Aguirre and Penny Hardaway on the Detroit Pistons. No, the Rockets are too good, and we've already used them at this point. Spurs could be fun as well. The Suns with Scottie Pippen and Mitch Richmond, but they've also been very good. And then there's the Seattle Supersonics with Joe Dumars and Larry Johnson. These have pretty much been the standings. So the Rockets somehow, okay, David Robinson won MVP and they didn't make the playoffs. I don't know if I agree with that. So Seattle could be fun as well. Like, they're kind of at the bottom there. I mean, we could try to get Kevin Garnett. We could try to get Kevin Garnett to the Lakers or to the Kings. And then here in the East, the Sixers. Honestly, I would do that. I would be worried that Larry Bird retires, because I think if he didn't retire and I controlled them, I would probably trade him. So that could also be fun. So let me know in the comments. Hope you guys did enjoy. Drop a like if you enjoyed episode 4 of the Ultimate Rebuilding series. I love you guys, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.